Do you ever need to make collages out of a lot of images and struggle with the time it takes? Also, sometimes trying to find the right template to fit your images is also hard to do. And so Smart Collage Builder takes care of that for you. I'm going to choose some images right here. I'm going to choose these images. I'm going to hit open. It's going to load these images, and then I'm going to hit build. And then we have a image, and we can randomize it, and we can reshuffle. And there we have a different collage with the same images, and they're all spaced evenly, and they all look nice. Smart Collage Builder is a Photoshop script that I built, and so it is something you can put easily into your own Photoshop, and you can use it with your own images. And if you look here, this is a collage of images that was made, and what's cool about this collage of images is everything fits well in its original orientation. There's some pictures that are bigger, some that are smaller, and if you look here, each image is its own layer. And so this would, in the past, have taken me quite a long time to make. You can also buy templates. The problem with templates is that you have to fit images to the template, and this Collage Builder makes your images fit and keeps the original size. There are also a lot of other options that I want to go through too. So I'm just going to turn this off. Also, what's cool about this is if you go to image size, you can put this on any size canvas you would like. So right now I'm on 8.5 by 11, but since this is Photoshop, you can make a custom size canvas, and this will work on any size canvas, horizontal, vertical, square. So I'm going to hit File and Scripts, and I'm going to load this Smart Collage Builder, and this will pop up first. And here is what we have. So I'm going to kind of go over what some of these are. So I can either click images or folder. There's also a little bit of information here if you want to read through that, but I'm going to choose some images. So let's just choose some of these right here and hit open, and it will open these up and it will store them in the Collage Builder. So they're right here. You can kind of see they're right in here. There's also a preset. So if you find something you like, you can make a preset and you can save the preset, and then you can go back to it. And so the layout is columns or rows. And so a column is this direction and a row is the opposite direction. And so it can either build it with columns or it can build it with rows. You can have square edges or tapered edges. You can have an auto column or row. And then you can also choose the number of columns or rows, which is also important to do sometimes. This is the spacing between the pictures. This is the original size image. This is a 1-to-1 grid. And then you can either have no frames or you can have frames. And this is not like a frame around the outside of the image. It's using the frame tool. So you can adjust the size of the image inside the frame. And so I'll go over that later. And then you can have it be full size. You can also have it be like 90% or even bigger. I'm also going to choose a randomize because randomize is what I like to do to kind of rearrange the photos, and so they're not all in the same order. So I'm going to have no background color, and I am not going to go over spotlight here just yet, but I just want to hit build and just show you what happens. Okay, so it went ahead and made my collage. It made it in columns, so 1 column, 2 column, 3 columns. And so I could actually change this. I could go 4 columns and hit build, and it would rebuild it for me. There we go. So now we have 4 columns. I like to usually just use auto because auto takes up the most amount of space possible. And so let's build it with rows now and see what happens. I'm going to hit build. And there we go. So now it built a row, this direction, this direction, this direction, and this direction. And so that's the different type of ways you can build it. Let's choose tapered and let's choose columns and let's hit build. There we go. So tapered has kind of a cool, like more organic look to it. And so it kind of leaves some empty space. And so I like that a lot too. If you don't like the layout, you can just hit reshuffle, and reshuffling will rearrange the photos. There we go. So I rearranged it just a little bit. I kind of like the one before, but that's okay. You can just keep hitting reshuffle until you get what you like. And so let's go over a couple other things here. And so let's go back to Square, and I'm going to add frames. So frames takes longer to build, but there's more options. So you can see right now, everything is its own image, but I can't resize the image inside the frame. But if I choose frames and I hit build, okay, so let's take a look now at what happened. And it looks very similar, but if we click here, let's move this out of the way. Let's move this over here so you can see inside of here, everything is in a frame now. And so what's cool about that is if I choose the arrow tool and I click on this, I can hit Control T and I can make the image bigger inside the frame. And then I can move images. So I click on this, hit Control T, make it just a little bit bigger, move it around inside the frame. And so it takes just a little bit longer to build, but if you like that flexibility, using frames helps. If you don't want to use frames and you don't plan on resizing them, then it's probably better not to use them. And so let's click on one-to-one and let's use frames again. Usually if I use one-to-one, I usually like to use frames. So I'm going to hit build. And again, I can come in here, I can double click on this, I can move it around, double click on this, rearrange these images inside the frames. And so when you're done with stuff, there's these options down here. You can either hit keep and close, or you can hit keep and new. If I hit keep and new, it will make my collage disappear, and I'm ready to make another one. So you can make collage after collage on top of this. So you could come over here and you could choose some more pictures. So if you're like wanting to do an album or something like that, this would be also a good way to do this. And so we can choose tapered now, and let's do original, and we're going to hit build. There we go. And so I kind of like using frames. It gives me a little bit more leeway, a little bit more options to do things. So like, for example, I could take this one since it's a smaller picture and I can hit Control T. I can make it a little bit bigger inside of here. And then same thing with this one. And then when I'm done, I can hit keep close. And then there is my collage here, but my other one is underneath it. So the last thing I want to go over is the Spotlight Hero. And you can see how this image is bigger than the rest of them. And so if I come over here and choose some images, and let's choose these images right here, and I'm going to hit open, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to enable Spotlight Hero, and I'm going to choose a hero picture, and I can kind of go through and choose which one I think is going to be the best. Let's just choose that one, hit OK. And I'm going to have it right in the center, but you can choose top, bottom, right, or left. And changing this number changes the size, relatively speaking, of the hero image to the rest of the images. It's not exact math, but it does make a difference. So let's just hit build and see what happens. There we go. And so you can see how it made one image just a little bit bigger than the rest of them. And so it becomes kind of the hero image. If we change this to a bigger number, and let's hit build again and see what happens. There we go. It becomes even just a little bit bigger than the rest of the images, changes the design, changes the layout. So changing these settings is really important. Going through and just figuring out what each thing does is also important. Also, the images you have are going to change the way the Collage Builder builds the collages as well. So I hope you enjoy it. It's Smart Collage Builder. It's very easy to install on your computer and inside your Photoshop, and it's going to save you a lot of time.